I was born in Ponce, Puerto Rico, but raised in Juana-Diaz. Juana-Diaz is a town in Puerto Rico that's heavily involved in drug dealing. Most of the drug dealing takes place in the caseríos, which what we call over here the project. The owners of the drug spots and their workers always have problems with other owners of other spots because they want to control one whole area for themselves. I lived in the caserío from 1997 to 2000, and when I moved out of the caserío, I moved into a house that was right across the street from my best friend's house, Virgen, in Juana-Diaz. In the caserío, Virgen's husband was the biggest drug dealer in a spot in my hometown, in one of the caseríos, called John F. Kennedy. A year later of me moving out, from the caserío, I graduated from high school. After high school, I went to college, and while I was in college, I had a job in a morgue, in a funeral home, and I wasn't making, that much money. It wasn't enough to help my mother pay her bills, and I was going through a lot of stress because I knew, the money wasn't enough for my mom's bills. So I was talking to my friend Virgen about the situation, and she told me that she was going to let her husband know about my situation. The drug dealers had some sort of lottery, which they let them give back the money to the community. The way how they chose people in the lottery was by picking a number from a hat, and each needy person was assigned, to a number. If your number was picked, and the extra money earning from the drugs deals from that week will go to the number that was picked from the hat. During this time, I was one of the needy people that my number was picked very often. Since I saw that I was making, I was getting a lot of money from that lottery, I asked Virgen if her husband could use my help with something, with his materials, and to show my appreciation for his help. Virgen's husband, Chino, decided to take me up on my offer. I started working for him by hiding his guns under my mattress and in my shoeboxes. Then he made me an offer of a cell phone and $1,200 a month for me to hide guns and cocaine in my house. A few months later, he just made me a better offer of giving me a car, which I used to go to school and to go to work and to run errands and earn for Chino when he needed something. And when I saw that I was making money so easily, I just began to, I just became more and more involved with Chino in the business he ran. One day, Chino asked Virgen and me to go with him on a ride to take care of some business. And he asked us to wait for him in the car, which I found weird, And he went with his brother inside his house to handle some business with a client. And so me and Virgen just waited in the car. All of a sudden, we just heard a big argument. So I decided to get off the car and see what was going on. When I got there, I just found Chino and his brother beating up the client that they went to do business with. before leaving the car, I took the gun that Chino had left me just in case something happened. I was just standing there and pointing my gun at the client. They were beating up. While Chino went to a room in the client's house to look for the drugs, which it turned to be fake drugs. I was yelling for them to hurry up. The client got up and tried to take the gun from me, and he tried to hit me, and I ducked. And he missed. He grabbed hold of the gun, and we were fighting for the gun. He grabbed me so tight that I fired a shot from the gun. I thought that bullet went into his head. There was blood all over the place. And he fell to the ground. When Chino and his brother heard the gunshot, they ran downstairs and we got back into the car and left. We never saw or heard about this client ever again. I think I killed him, and well, so to me he's dead. I never heard about him. After this event, I feel like someone was like watching me by every move. I saw flashes at times when like certain cars passed by my house. Whenever I was, like in front of my house, just chilling with my friends, I wasn't scared that it was someone out to kill me, but that I was scared that it could be like the cops. I turned out that it was really the cops. To me, I was sure that it was the cops. Contact, and I wasn't involved as much as I used to be. After the birth of my godson being his child, I stopped dealing with the business for good. And one day, two detectives went to my house asking if I knew Ismael Diaz, my uncle, who is also a cop. I said yes, and the detective knew who I really was. And this is when I spoke with my mother, and I told her that I had a decision that that I was moving to New York with my cousin who lives in the Bronx. I didn't tell my mom the real reason I left, but it was because a detective handed me pictures of myself involved in different drug-related activities. My life had changed so much. I'd rather work hard to get what I need than to go back to a lifestyle I was living. I am now a teacher's assistant in a preschool for disabled children. I am planning to go back to school soon to become a social worker. And in Chino's and Vince's case, they kept with a drug dealing lifestyle. In June 2008, Vince called me early in the morning to tell me that the FBI broke down her door looking for Chino. Chino wasn't there though, and he was most wanted person in Puerto Rico for 3 weeks until he gave himself in. The drugs and the money that Chino left in the streets that was supposed to go to his wife was never given to her, to Vilhen. Vilhen ended up being broke without no husband and now needs to be a stripper in order to support her family since Chino is not in jail now. I try to help Ying as much as I can since her husband helped me. And when I was really doing badly, her drug dealing life was easy, but not worth the consequence.